Hello, replay viewer. Thank you for connecting. I am Ami, broadcasting from Far East Japan. I have Monday here is our weekly reminder to think better, feel better, being better for our conscious creation, living with clarity, using reliable information, which I've been using this card deck, Mind Body Makeover card, provided by Dr. Mona Lisa Schultz. This is about mind, what we think, feel, really reflect to the physical body, healthy, unhealthy, energetic pattern that we all want to be aligned in healthy resonance. So learning about healthy way of thinking and unhealthy way of thinking allow us to scan our natural default way of thinking to particular experience in everyday life based on past experience, belief system, perception created with our own unique experience. So learning about own system, and then we can use our personal power, 5% of consciousness, to choose for ideal bettering. So that's what the idea is. And I'm a believer that we are all enough, but we would like to grow, and we like to learn something ideal, not ideal, so we can choose for ideal. So reminding is the key for maintaining the better alignment, better resonance when we are getting off to hi Mel, happy new week, getting off from ideal alignment. That's we all go, like when we clean up everything, but living every day creating something, and then we're gonna create the mess. That's the sign of creating. So the idea is to, when we notice that mess, and then clean up periodically to keep a healthy environment for our everyday creation. Sometimes it's like stagnant, and that creates unideal, unwanting energetic pattern. So when we become notice that, and then we like to create. So keep it going, keep it going. I think that's what the life's nature. And as we become a mature person, becoming better person, and then ideal to learn about our own way that help us clean up or create the ideal environment for our healthy creation. So to notice, remind, and get going, choosing, get going, adjusting, refining. That's what we do as a mind muscle development, and maintaining it and keep it going as in a gym together here on Monday. So here we go. So we had a new moon over the weekend, and also equinox, the season of equinox. I was excited to do the equinox things, and then it came here, but no one was unable to connect it. But anyway, that's okay. That very quietly invited in the balancing Libra energy, getting into the season of Libra. It's about the balance, it's about the beauty, it's about to contemplate. That's the season that we have in Northern Hampshire, actually. The Australia, New Zealand, you guys are having a springtime, right? So, and then, yeah, the new moon. I clean up all the energetic beingness, I enjoy a lot about that last full moon, that pampering myself with soaking into the salty water as in a spa, which I love to do. So yesterday reflecting the new moon energy, so I enjoyed that long bath soaking in and enjoy being there. So it's kind of refreshed. And then I just went to the shrine near me, created the autumn circle for us to put the energy for the upcoming 3 months to wrapping up this year 2022. Wow, it's already the last final quarter of this year. Can you believe it? I feel like wow, it's already. Where is the 2022? I mean, it's been a quite strange year for me. Like, has been Mercury retrograding year so far. I mean, the entire time feels like retrograding, means that feel kind of stay still. That's what I've been noticing. But yeah, so I just did that live when I was in a shrine near me, just a quick sharing of the visit. And then I got the blessings to our energy visual circle, so we can put that intention in there. So if you are being in that circle, and please support and put in your energy by choosing the one word for this upcoming season and post it on my Instagram. I'm gonna post a visual again and get energy, get supported at the same time with the like-minded join a circle member. And at least you're gonna get my energy every day as my morning ritual, as my healing healing practice that I do as a healer every day to connect my energy and to send people close to me and in a circle, so you receive every day my energy while I'm doing the healing work each morning. So please add your energy and in your name and your intention if you can come up with some word, and I'm gonna take that your word and handwrite it into the visual artwork to for us all to join and send and receive energy. It's easier for having some visual to as a target where to put your energy and to receiving energy, even we are connecting without having that visual, but somehow the human system 80% information we are taking from eyes, so some visual targeting to focusing and sending and receiving, it's more powerful, easier for us to transact, create the momentum, create the energy vortex for one another. So please join. Yeah, yesterday or day before I posted it, but somehow it kind of like make it as in a video, so it's quite challenging where to post in there. So I repost for all of us to add word and energy and receiving kind of picture, so that would be easier. And then you can get some flavor that when I was getting the blessing at the shrine. So please check that video too. Okay, so here is a weekly reminder. This week, the Mercury is still retrograding and reflecting the new moon. So it's like a new you, new self, new beginning again, new season, so just to embody the new and let go of all the old stuff, your old creation, and just to get some essence that it's really needing to the new you. Just like repacking your luggage for your new journey starting this week. That's a good analogy, metaphorically, that to no longer needing items element out from your luggage, and then let that go, clean up, so then we can move with the ideal energy, item, focus, and clarity for stepping forward. Move on. Create. So here is a reminder this week, all of us. Let's see. Nice. Healing joy. The sixth energy center, it's a brain. It's about perception, intuition, intellect, ideal, imagination, that area. Third eye. With joy is one of the 5 human basic emotions: love, joy, fear, anger, and sadness. So healthy thought here is that failure is not as frightening as regret. Optimism, growth, and success are more likely to lead to happiness rather than avoiding challenges. This is a great reminder for starting the new cycle again. Unhealthy thought is, if I lower my expectation, I'm likely to be happier since I'm less inclined to get disappointed by failure. Isn't this interesting? When we set a goal, like a play with safe. I know. Play with safe is kind of like predictable. So even if we fail, it's not that so much, just a scratch. It's not gonna make any big damage, and then we just go for the big goal. Never know what is gonna happen, but perhaps if it succeeded, and it's so exciting, so alive feeling, it's gonna be here. But there is a sort of like a uncertain injury can be happening. I was watching the news in Japanese because two reasons. Number one is the weather, the hurricane, typhoon, information that we all want to catch up and prepare in ahead of time. And number two is that expecting the funeral of the former prime minister assassinated a couple months ago, and then that funeral is tomorrow. I think that the politicians, like entire nation, is discussing about the two things, and then both are kind of like landed into very negative. That's part of the media, is to focus on the negative possibility and then get people's attention to push the fear button. That's the quickest way to get the human attention. That's what their methodology to do that. So all the focus are draining into the negative conclusions, and then I am so overwhelmed and tired, so just turned the news off and then stepped out and went shrine. It was so peaceful and very nice weather after the rains and stuff, and it was so nice and calm, and blessings. And I thought it's a good idea to take a picture and then get some blessings and prepare the energies and stuff. So what I'm saying is that there is a choice to give our focus on positive or negative. I mean, we need both though, because when we expecting the storm, and then we want to get prepared for the worst, but that's that, and then no need to stay with the negative ideas. Like my auntie sent me like, oh, your area is gonna be having a heavy rain, and I get the news, and your neighbors, and are you okay? It's like, she just caring about me, but every time she saw the news in near me, she just sent overwhelming worry energy. Then I explained that, okay, my area is very pretty safe for so and so reasons, and but thank you. And I just needed to take myself out and then to align in something that neutralizing, that's a negative information, and get prepared to avoiding the worst, and then to yeah, and then and then being open to the possibility that look at the sky after the rain, it's so beautiful, blue, and birds are so happy about that life aliveness. So that's what I needed to feel, that since the rain, so mostly staying home over the weekend. So it's nice to take a walk, get the fresh air, and then changing the season. The leaves are changing colors and smells. So like ending the seasons, and you know yeah, and then there is an enough element if we want to give our attention to worries. The negative information, get the negativity, and then get prepared for that. And no marinating with the worrying energy. Instead of encouraging for preparing something, and that's probably the language also, that some languages are very focused on the worry kind of and then sometimes that worry to overwhelming other person or people to make them feel guilty. It's like I also do that when I speaking in English. Then my friend says like, hey, are you making me, I'm not gonna take you make me feel sorry for it, or like. So that mindset sometimes that I was developed in the Japanese commanding mindset to choosing the English word in a weird way of feel guilty without consciously. So that dialoguing, the composition of making others without knowing, it's kind of a trend in the family, because my mother also, and my auntie is my mother's sister. So it's like, their parents and that blood or family way to caring, but to me it's just overly worry, all over marinating everybody. So but I appreciate that, so need to tell the appreciation for that concern. But and then every time I feel that energy, then I put myself like, hey, if I'm the person who is sending the energy, and what would be the best way ideal for me to send that, verbal, or like sharing the concerns of my heart every time. So lately, that feeling that kind of you know so the joy, here is the joy again. The failure is not as frightening as regret. Optimism, growth, and success are more likely to lead to happiness rather than avoiding challenges. So it's quite a different focus. But what I wanted to share is that we have a choice to uh, which way we want to give our attention to, and staying there is the point, that to not positive thinking, but realistically empowering thinking way of resonating, because the negative information is also useful. When we avoid that, and then that is not the resource available is not being used. If we avoid the negative information, it's like, hey, we expected the heavy rain, the tornado coming tomorrow, and then if we avoid that, and then the resource is not being used for preparing for the better. So get that information, accepting it, but no need to stay with the worry things. And then optimism, something greater also can be happening, expected. So we are bilocated, choosing with our attention. Since the attention moves our energy flows towards our choice. So we have absolute choice to which resonance we would like to be aligned with that joy. When we're thinking, it's all about thinking, worrying, and then the idea comes to the emotion, worried, nervous, and so forth. So the joy is the highest next to love. It's like follow your joy is the follow your true north. And happiness, choose happiness rather than avoiding challenges. Avoiding challenges. So, and then this particular one is that setting goals, like a new moon, new season, setting new clear vision or the next destination focus for ending this year 2022. If I lower my expectation, I'm likely to be happier since I'm less inclined to get disappointed by failure. So the failure, no one wants to get failure. I mean, we all want to intend for the success, but the success is the failure is part of the success. To me, it's like getting there for the success. And I know no one can be successful at the day first. They start something new, right? So it's like if you call it failure or unsuccessful experience until reaching the success. So staying the familiar is play safe, is kind of nurturing the affirming what you can do, but maybe resisting to go for the growth. I gotta understand that because sometimes we want to stay familiar, and it's just repeating the familiar as long as you can enjoy it. But when you notice there is some stagnant or some energy or unhappiness, perhaps that is telling us that maybe we are ready for something better, not because you're not good at it or you're not doing it enough, but just ready for the something new. That's the part of growth, which is one of the human basic needs. We all need to grow. So let's check what Dr. Mona Lisa needs to say, because I'm talking too much today. Joy, healthy joy. 6 energy center, healthy joy. 42. Let me put this up. Oh, sorry. I want to make it brighter a little bit. Okay. The flag. 40. Healthy joy. Six energy center. Okay. So here we go. We cannot feel the thrill of victory if we don't occasionally take risks and accept the possibility of failure. The process of growth and learning occasionally involves constantly challenging oneself. If we continue to grow and take risks, energy and joy set in. Rather than avoiding challenges, optimism and growth are more likely to lead to happiness. Yes, indeed. I guess that's a part of the human maturity. Um, in my stage, like 50 something, that is more likely to easy to get resonate into this lowering the risks because more experience than back in 20 something. You know, the 20 something to explore, to learn and expand self and to, so that's all energetically we want to, you know, experience that world. And then we learn a little bit, learning about ourselves and learning about the world a little bit better, and then more knowing what we like to have, the choices. But there is always other choices, and being open to it, and then unexpected happy would be there. So yeah, again, this is really a great reminder to healthy joy, expand ourselves. So the expanding the desire list, not playing safe. Just like when we are like 5 years old kid, what do you want to have? What you want to experience? You want to have some, the thing goals. What do you want to have? It's easy for kids to do that. Yeah, I want to have this and bicycles. I want to have a pool. This toys and all these computers and all this going on. And then as an adult, so what do we want? Not the thing goal, of course including the thing goal, but more of the experience or emotions and connections and significant or varieties. What we like to have, it's totally up to us to expand that. So strengthen the muscle, expand that idea a little bit. That's all about imaginations, intuition, allowing. Not so much left brain to summarizing it. It's not so much to limiting with the mindset, critical mind, but just a childlike right brain to open up and then free for what we would like to explore there in this lifetime. Since that this month, so many people connected to the Queen Elizabeth's past and the funeral and learning about life and what the human life would that be. What does death to you? Each one of us felt something through this being part of collective. And then this could be a good opportunity for us to, what do you want to experience during this lifetime? Wherever you are at your stage, we never know how long it's gonna be. Like as Queen Elizabeth was telling when she was 21 or 25 that no matter how long my life or how short would that be, she committed to dedicate her life to her occupation as a queen, right? So then ended up like 96. So we never know how long it's gonna be, but it's nice to have the things at least we know to experience on the list instead of regret. So that's the healthy joy. And it's good to using this new moon energy to new you for the last 3 months, the last quarter for this year 2020. What you would like to invite in, explore, achieve, align, allow yourself to experience. Perhaps that the universe gives us a quick answer. Uh, yeah, indeed, warriors and warrior, indeed. Yeah. So, Mel, would you like to pick the card for this week? Let me have the number between 1 to 10. Yeah, the failure is part of the success. And not too many people talk about failure because we want to, hide the failure, not necessarily featuring it. But when we notice someone's, when they're succeeding, most of the case. So that's the paradox that not too many people get failure, but know that the best player or sports athlete that going for the Olympic and gold medalist Olympians are the most failure experienced individual for a particular chosen path, I think. The idea of perfect or the fear of failure. And then I think that is something came from a childhood experience or environment, though, that children are so harsh. And pointing out someone failed in the classroom, like, yay, you failed it, that's humiliating. So these environment, if that was me being pointed out of my failure, or observing that someone or many of them pointing one person friend for the failure, and then I don't want to be that person to be pointed out when failed. So that's part of perhaps in the childhood experience in school or community, or worse, in the family. I mean, I came from that family. I mean, my father was like, he was a childlike spirit. I mean, we all pieced out at the end, but it's like pointing out old children that for picking their failure, that's humiliating. So we got all good initiation to overcoming all this, overcoming the failure, and then to accepting the failure is the perfect. And then I realized that my father also came from the strict father. His father, my grandfather, is a professor, so it's probably he also came from that kind of chained. Yeah. So it's the degree or the types are quite different, but some level we all experience in some environment, the home or the friends or the school or the community, and if you have something like, particularly in case of me, it's like I have a dyslexic brain, so something to do with my dyslexia, then it's targeted for the peaking, like, hey, you're not doing that, and then without knowing that's not your fault, but that's some issue, and then you get hurt. And then it's hard when you don't know what to do with it. It took me over 30 years to overcome it. Didn't know it, but at some point, need to shed in all these emotions. We can feel love. Yeah. So that feeling, when you can overcome in yourself, that's a power though. But once I completely get healed, knowing that it's not my fault, and then it's so dissolving. It's like so free. Healing no card. So if you're watching and you feel the similar way, any part of you remember in the memory is causing you hard for you to be failed or to be perfect, to share. I mean, I'm still in some level I have that, but perfectionism, like the way you appear, the way you speak, way you behave, anything that you were initiated when you're a child, that's a great opportunity to overcoming. It's not your fault. And with the practice, you can polish it into that diamond. Diamond is also just a rock until you polishing it. But know that broken part is the strongest. Like the diamond is the strongest stone. But you need to polish it. Admit that it's the hard, like a broken pieces, but it's the strongest part of you. So give your attention for polishing part, and then hey, look, and then share with others, and then many others can relate to the way that you make it so hard on you to now releasing it, deserving. That's a healing. And then ideally share with any way you can share, do with the song or the art or painting or talk or writing. Anything that you can share would be very useful for other people to know that, hey, I'm not the alone, I'm not the only one feeling weird alone. Yes, it's initiated to that psyche. So the many way to heal that with therapy, if it's available handy or near you. Hypnotherapy is also that, to connect into the subconscious and conscious and bring it into the conscious awareness, and then heal one by one, So the intuitive healing also does that. Intuitives identifying the cause of it, around it, and then the time we receive that insight, perhaps no idea because it's so under subconscious and conscious, but later that, hey, like a pieces of the puzzle come together all of a sudden out of the blue, and that's the aha moment. It's like, these pieces, and then gives a totally different view from here. That's such a healing, isn't it? So yeah, so any modality would be fine that you can trust, but when you go some healer or therapist or a psychic or anyone that offer these services, and believe in their way to heal, unless otherwise you're gonna get cursed or something, negative things that happen if they're not gonna subscribe their service, and then don't continue and run. These are the con artists. So I also bump into the con artist to being asked a significant amount of money to getting rid of this negative, so-called negative energy done into this my energetic being back then. So it's very difficult. And then when we are really seriously connecting to that part of ourselves, and overall, energetically, we have a hard time trusting our strong part of ourselves, and lost the confidence, lost the trust to others and to self. it's hard to live ourselves, love ourselves in that way, so, and then it's hard when we are in that place, but sometimes we go there in order to become aware more. So it's very difficult to trust self, and then it's very difficult to trust other people, and then somehow the con artists know when you are in that energetic spot, and then it's easy for them to con you to getting rid of something out of your financial resource or any other resources, or like a mind to in their way they think that's wonderful for you, but never know that's for them, and perhaps it's that for you or not. So you got to have some reliable information. So yeah, that's one of the sign that if they offer you in a closed space, like a one-on-one relation, and if you talk to someone, then something bad is gonna happen. That's a bad news. It's really a bad news. So and then it's open and giving you a choice, and that could be possible. So you can discuss about your trustworthy friends, or if you have a hard time having that trust friend, since if something happened in a good friendship, what is the cause of that feeling, and then go to the specialist, therapist. Yes, have to be very careful. As a community, or some sort of like an injured, weak, when we are weak and then easily be resonated to something that you would like to believe, but I need to believe in self and get the professional support with the reliable. So it's important to have the reliable resource, like a community with no like a profit benefit kind of relationship dynamic, outside of that kind of dynamic. That's something. That's one of the reasons that I joined Energy Circle that in California. That yeah, I felt something good, because no business relatedness, no obligated to others, except that support one another, sharing resources for individual bettering. So yeah. So would you like to pick the card, Mel? May I have the number for this week? 3. Okay, 1, 2. Yeah, and if the childhood experience is still bothering, most of the case, but as a traumatized, and if you are maybe unaware that it's the trauma, that was my case until like wow, but it could happen though. But you feel like your unhappiness is coming from something like anger or sadness, these are the both the similar, something coming out, even that you having a good relationship or a great job or career, or like a space and things, and Skimmer's gonna get money. Yeah, exactly. But they're gonna get your mind, some sort of like cult. And my sister, actually, one of my family member, I mean, my sister actually went into cult because of her trauma, and it's hard to get in that mindset to be back in what is normal. I mean, the definition of normal is not there, but it's really difficult to be used for that type of activity. I mean, of course, that what you believe is helping you, that's wonderful. We all need something to believe in self and in others, in universe or the God or whatever. um, yeah, it is. And a family member, it's it's really hard, like and then that is what happened, that my father died. One of these transition, that the family member passed away, family dynamic changes, and this is a very good opportunity for these people to or find the healing. Of course, they needed in healing, but it's both win-win, like a support in one way and then the other, but the balance seems to be kind of off sooner or later, and then I put the question mark on that. you know so in case of me, was like my sister was that, and then my mother was taking care of that, because all about the physical issues, and the family dynamic. My father died, and my family are kind of like changing, and so my sister went there, and then my mother backing up, and then I was gonna ask to join. It was like, hey, no, my intuition said, hey, no, this something, it's no to me. Yeah. And then I did like 10 years or so, I needed to put the distance, mind distance from the mothers and sister. And then the time I visited them for after a decade, and then I felt the strange energy from their place. They're living together, and and then I did the reading, intuitive reading. Yeah, that was really, and I was practicing the intuitive insight and healing. And then I told my mother, like, hey, you got to do something with my sister, because it's not a good news, bad news all over, and including this space, your home. And then my mother took what I said intuitively, the insight, and then she goes that, well, your sister's gonna believe it or not, I'm wondering about if she take it or not, because they're so deeply mind into the particular way of the teachings. So, and then from there, it took a long time to figure. My mother calling, isn't this something? She picking up that I was talking about. Now she's calling. That's the mother's intuition's working. But anyway, so what I was talking is that yeah, and then gradually fading out. But it took more than a decade or so. So yeah, so and as long as they're happy, that's good. But that that's gonna create waves to the family, but got to accept as is, and got to be strong no matter what, to resonate into your own value. Listen to your own intuition first, and then get that reliable information, and then choose from the heart, not from everything else, I think. So that's what I learned So 3. Isn't it funny that my mother called? 1, 2, 3. Here is your reminder, Mel. Healing anger. Healing anger. The 5th energy center, throat chakra, color blue. Express authentically. Communicate clearly from what you are thinking and feeling to the world around you. That's the energy center with that. Anger is one of the 5 human basic emotions: love, joy, fear, anger, and sadness. Anger is the value is not meeting. What we expected is not happening in a way that we thought it would be, ideally. So, and it's frustrated, angry about how come it's not happening, or how come it is happening in this way, in a way communicating with others. So here is a healthy thought, and then share unhealthy thought, and then let me go scan your energy and come up with some reminder might be helpful for this week for you. Okay, so the healthy thought is inspired. I go after my bliss, but I'm also open to the emotional reaction of others. Interesting. Unhealthy thought is, if I'm not right, I lose control. Okay, so let me go scan your energy, Mel. Okay, I got the sense that your idea or the next step to align is pretty clear. It's like a crown chakra. You've got the purple heart, or the indigo color heart. It's a higher chakra. It's pretty clear about this particular. So bringing down to the 5th energy center, expressing to let others know about your idea or your determination or your way of going is quite needing deserving some adjustment. So what I would see here is that your heart and the lower chakra, the sense of self, and the heart, caring heart and sense of self, and the way you used to aligning and to express is now being asked to change the new version of you expressing. I mean, the better alignment to your heart, and then your vision and your self, sense of self. So it seems to be that each portion, each part, your idea, crown chakra and heart chakra is already fixed. I mean, pretty precise. And then the sense of self and the way to express, that's the I think I see the room to adjust, to make it as a new template, to self-esteem and comfort, the sense of self-power, healthy ego with the heart, and to express. So these two, 3rd energy center and the 5th energy center, to finding a new way, connecting, to aligning for the new version of yourself, to share, connect, communicate the world around you, might be a good reminder. So, and no need to change in the things have been getting clear with. Oh, that's great. Things seems to be this your idea and your divine and the heart. It's not gonna change. I mean, that's the truth, the authentic truth. So other part can be adjusted, aligning to this two chakra. That's what I'm sensing. I'm sending healing to finding some way to tune in, finding the word or the way to communicate. And your intuition is going to bring you as a synchronicity, as an opportunity for you to use it in a new way to share your little bit of self-centered but not selfish way with the appropriate word that present your heart of the matter, aligning to your chosen path. Thank you for allowing. Yeah, the courage. The courage. I think. Yeah, and perhaps that the color yellow. Maybe you are not so much using the color yellow around you, but intentionally using it with the items or clothes might be a good reminder this week to boosting the self-centered, healthy ego and self-esteem to get some power for being comfortable aligning new version of yourself. Yeah, that's a good reminder. And maybe for this coming quarter, 3 months, your springtime might be good. Yay! So thank you for allowing. It's so nice to connect here, Mel, for starting our week, Monday. Yes, the sun. So they're literally connecting that sun power of the sun to reminding that what you are working on, adjusting, aligning. So, okay, so let us connect our energy before closing. I think I need to call my mother. That's so funny. So take a moment and connect it. Because I feel really good today after visiting the shrine and be able to connect here. My word for upcoming is gratitude. It's very general, but gratitude, it's the grateful for, is already having that here. And when we align to that enough fulfilling, then that energy reflects to the other area of our life. So that the simplest is that the most less charged area is easily to boost. But when we are putting lots of effort and energy in building up, and then it's harder to put the boost that energy because it's already, enough going on. So the simplest, easiest to boost and do that, and then feel good and grateful for, and then to the next, that's automatic because we are all same human, one human being, and one part improved, and then that effect next to the next area. So if it's a hard time having the work environment, and then pretty much happening also in the home or family, so finding the least charged, maybe the relatedness with dog or cat or the friends to just to connect and boost the good feeling gratefulness. I've been sharing laughter and joy, and then that influence in other area. That's a good reminder. And then this week's reminder again, all of us, is to go for a big goal. Avoid playing safe, worrying about failure. failure. Failure is the step for going to the success. Success is needed for us to grow and challenge, go for the next. I'm telling to myself. So let us take a moment and connect. Thank you. To notice what you are thinking, what you are feeling. I love the heart color combination, Mel. Yes, indeed. I am popping up my mother's face, and I'm hearing her voice all over me, so I need to call her. She's telepathically irritating me, and I know what she needs to talk about. It's all about typhoon things, and then she probably heard the news, so she need to. So, but I am connecting here, listening to these grasshoppers actively playing the sound, and starting this new cycle with the excitement and connected feeling and appreciation. Thank you. So let us take a long deep breath one time for today, to inhale in and take it in, all the good energy into you, and then connect as one energy, letting go all the no longer serving, and the new energy for you and for one another, to bring it into this oneness. Ready? Let us take a long deep breath now. 2, 3. Thank you for joining, and thank you for leaving the heart. Little week, sum up on YouTube and Twitch if you are connecting from there. I'm not sure if it's up or not, but at least I think it's good for search engine purpose, to some activity going on in other platforms. That's one of the reasons that I'm keep doing it, to being active. Thank you so much for sharing your pretty presence, Mel, live. And happy new week. And please check our new energy circle on the Instagram at Ami Max Joy, AMI Max Joy, or links from the profile. And come join and put your energy and receive energy from the group, so then we can get supported and be in support at the same time. All right, thank you. You have a wonderful night and day. I see you when I see you. Bye. Thank you, Mel.